That's the sound of Joshua Bell. Well, technically, that's the sound of Joshua Bell's 313-year-old Stradivarius, but he'll tell you more about that in a minute. Joshua Bell, violinist, conductor, commander of the Order of the British Empire, Indiana living legend, undercover busker, and occasional movie and TV star, will be performing 2 concerts as part of the Virginia Arts Festival this weekend, Saturday night at the Ferguson Center in Newport News and Sunday afternoon at the Sandler Center in Virginia Beach. And he's bringing along his band, the Academy of St. Martin in the Fields, of which he has been music director since 2011. We'll trace a very non-linear line from Joshua Bell's first recital at age 12 to his place as one of the stars of the violin and his metamorphosis to conductor and music director. Now, about that 313-year-old Strad. How many violins do you have?
Really, I have one violin because I play on one, the Stradivarius made in 1713, and that's it's everything for me. And I do own another violin. I own actually a very nice modern violin by a man named Zygmuntovich in Brooklyn. But I'm a one violin guy. Your relationship with your instrument, it's very special, but it takes a long time to really get used to an instrument and all its nuances and to really know what you can do with it. And with classical music, those nuances are just so important. And so it's very hard to switch, one day this, one day that. And I happen to have, I think, one of the great violins in the world, Stradivarius, made in 1713. And I'm incredibly lucky to have it. I've been playing, touring with my violin for 40 years now, and really the highlight of my career and the highlight of my life musically right now is my work with the Academy of St. Martin in the Fields, where I've been music director for 15 years. Being a music director, conductor, etc., has opened up a whole new world for me because I get to play the repertoire that I know, like in Virginia, I'm playing the Saint-Saëns violin concerto, but I also get to direct a symphony, and in this case, the Dvorak 8th Symphony, which I've loved since I was a child. Now I get to direct it. You might say conduct it, although I'm also playing along with the orchestra, which is something unusual, which many audience members who have gone to the symphony, they're used to a conductor with a baton. I lead from the violin, and it creates a really special atmosphere where everyone is playing like chamber music, and it's really something very special and magical that I just love to do. So I'm excited about this tour that's just getting underway now and can't wait to hit Virginia.
That's Joshua Bell, and he will be performing this weekend as part of the Virginia Arts Festival, Saturday night at the Ferguson Center in Newport News and Sunday afternoon at the Sandler Center in Virginia Beach. He's bringing along his band, the Academy of St. Martin in the Fields. He will act as soloist and conductor, performing music of Saint-Saëns, Charles Ives, and Antonin Dvorak. You can get tickets at vafest.org. You'll be playing the Saint-Saëns, you're playing and conducting. So can you tell people a little bit about just the mechanics of what that is like, of conducting and being a soloist at the same time? The machinations you kind of have to go through to get people listen. It's different than being up there with a baton.
It is different to play and conduct, and it's tricky, and it's something I've been now doing for a while, and I've had to kind of learn my way. There's no real school for this kind of thing because it's very unusual to do pieces like Mozart or before, Vivaldi's Four Seasons. One is used to seeing the violinist sort of lead. But when it gets to complicated things orchestrally like Saint-Saëns or Tchaikovsky concerto or Brahms concerto, which I'm also doing on the tour, it gets very tricky. It doesn't allow me as a soloist to take a breath almost anywhere. Usually with a conductor, we have the tutti sections where I can rest while the orchestra plays, without me. But in that case, I've spun around and I'm conducting the orchestra, and it's really exciting, and it makes the orchestra sit on the edge of their seat. They can't phone it on any level. They have to really be very aware because they have to take their cues from my bow and from subtle nuances that I do, and they have to really listen in a way that I think makes it more viscerally exciting.
Did I get this right? You say with the Dvorak, you're conducting, but you are actually playing in the orchestra as well?
Yes, I will. I sit as concertmaster.
Okay.
For the Dvorak, I would say I play about 60 to 70%. I play with the orchestra. The other parts, I don't quite stand up, but I conduct with my bow as if like a baton. And basically, I conduct where needed and play where it helps as well. That's part of the fun of doing this role, is figuring out where I'm best needed, as a conductor and as a player. And I've always been very physical when I play the violin. So as far as my movements, sometimes criticized for it, but it actually helps when the orchestra's following me that I'm not still like a statue while I play, and they can follow me better that way. So it's really a lot of fun. I think it's a different experience for an audience too, to see this kind of interaction.
Joshua Bell, bona fide rock star of the violin and music director of the Academy of St. Martin in the Fields, talking with us about conducting the violin and other fun things. I'm Jana Lee Ross. Thanks for listening to WHRO-FM. You can learn more about Joshua Bell's concerts this weekend as part of the Virginia Arts Festival at vafest.org. Your Wikipedia page says you excelled at bowling. Is that true?
I had no idea
your bowler.
My Wikipedia said anything about my bowling.
It does.
No, I'm not so good at bowling anymore. I like all games. So I like billiards, I like bowling, I like golf. Probably my best sport was tennis, where I was sort of competitive when I was 10 to 12 range. Bowling, yeah, I did score 229 once in a charity tournament, actually.
That's a great score.
Where I started out with 6 straight strikes. I thought I was on my way to 300, and then it went a little bit downhill. But so, no, I'm not great at bowling, but I do enjoy it. I should probably take that off. I don't know who put that on my Wikipedia page.
Someone's got to do that. It's not great for your hands. Did you reach a point where there was a choice, like, I love all these sports, but I got to take care of my hands? Do you still do the sports?
I do have to be a little careful, although I do play basketball, and during the pandemic, actually, every day I'd spend an hour or two just shooting baskets, and it was sort of therapy for me. But I like to ski, but skiing is one I'm sort of staying away from, because that's really, really kind of dangerous. But I still play sports, basketball, tennis. They say I shouldn't play tennis because of tennis elbow, etc., but I still do it. And my parents always encouraged me to do sports and do other things. And in fact, actually, the day of my very first big recital at age 12, one that turned out to be monumental because my future teacher, Joseph Gingold, attended it and took me on as a student. That day, I was throwing a boomerang, and that afternoon, and it came back, which is, I guess, it's supposed to do, and it hit me in the chin, and I was in the emergency room just hours before my very first recital, and I almost didn't play it. So. But, you got to live, right?
What did you play on the recital? Do you remember?
Oh, that was, I played a Bach Partita, Beethoven Sonata, and Wieniawski Violin Concerto, and Zigeunerweisen of Sarasate.
Okay.
I was 12 years old. So I do remember it. If the boomerang had hit about 2 inches more to the left, right where the violin would be, I might have not been able to play the violin. And then, therefore, my teacher, Gingold, would not have heard me for the first time. And I'd be playing tennis for a living. I don't know.
Well, we got lucky. And we're lucky to have him in Virginia this weekend. Joshua Bell, violinist and music director of the Academy of St. Martin in the Fields, performing this Saturday evening at the Ferguson Center in Newport News, and this Sunday afternoon at the Sandler Center in Virginia Beach. A concert of Dvorak, Charles Ives, and Camille Saint-Saëns with the Academy of St. Martin in the Fields. I'm Jana Lee Ross. Thanks so much for listening to WHRO-FM, and you can learn more about Joshua Bell and the concert and get tickets at vafest.org.